Hello, I'm Morgan from ABA Visualized, and we are going to create another visual BIP together today. I received a message from somebody asking about how to create a behavior plan that has multiple functions, and I thought that would be a really good topic for us to do today. So thank you guys all joining in today. This is going to be interactive. So we're going to be creating a behavior plan on BIP Visualized for somebody that has multiple functions for the challenging behavior. Okay, so let's talk about that scenario, and then I'm going to start asking you some questions so that way we can create the visual BIP together. So let's think about what are situations where a behavior might be happening for multiple functions. And as a reminder, the functions are attention, access, sensory, and escape. And let's think about a really common scenario. So let's say that somebody is, they're playing electronics, they're playing video games, they're watching TV, and the parent says, it's time to get ready for bed. What do you think is that function? Oh, they engage in a challenging behavior. Let's say they throw the video controller at the parent. What do we think is the function of that behavior? I'm curious what you think because there's multiple options here. That's the topic for today's BIP. Yeah, so we have escape coming in the chat. Any other ideas? There is a little bit of a delay from the chat to when I see it, so continue to add in your ideas and I'll see it. Okay, escape and access, yes. So let's imagine again, they're having so much fun, they're playing video games, and the parent says it's time to put that away and get ready for bed. So there could be that element of not wanting to stop playing the video games. That's super fun. So that would be not wanting to give up that access. But then it's time to start the bedtime routine, which maybe that could be escape because maybe there's some parts of that aren't so exciting, not so fun. So on BIP Visualize, that's why we create and organize our behavior plans based on situation rather than function. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And in the meantime, if you can put in the chat, I need your help coming up with the scenario. So go ahead and think about what challenging behavior do we want to be happening during a transition. So I'm looking for a challenging behavior and what type of transition. So I gave the example of getting ready for bed, but you can share other ideas in the chat and we'll get started. All right, I'm going to flip us around. I can see some answers coming in the chat. Love it. Thank you so much. And flip. Okay. Okay, so this is a behavior plan I already made. We're going to start fresh, and I'm going to click on Create a New BIP to go ahead and get started. So I'm looking here, if you can see, where it says when to implement. So if I'm looking, I see some examples of transitioning from play to a work task. The student is verbally refusing and moving away. Okay, good. Let me scroll back up. Verbal refusal, transition from coloring to the art table to the bathroom. Okay, flopping on the ground, tantrums. Okay, I love it, transitioning to homework. Okay, so we're gonna do, I love the idea of doing a tantrum. So let's do title of BIP. I'm gonna do my client code name. I'm gonna do it as a little secret code name here for my friend who just got her BCBA today, and her behavior is tantrums. So we're gonna do tantrums, when to implement this, transitions from preferred activities to non-preferred. And then I'm going to take some of those specific examples that you guys just mentioned here. So you were saying from coloring, transitions away from coloring. I did the example of electronics. Maybe there's another one that's like transitions away from like playing outside. Okay, so now we have our behavior and we have our when to do this. When are we going to do the strategies? So that's the most important thing to think about, because when we are creating a plan on how to support the team, they need to know when to do the strategies. So having it very clear at the top like this helps them know when should they come in and support their learner. So let's think about, what do we want to do for our replacement behavior next? So if you can share your ideas in the chat about what type of replacement behavior I want to do. And if I'm not sure yet, I can use the search feature here, and I can search for functions, I can search for access, I can search for escape, different strategies will come up, or I can search even for transitions and get some recommended strategies there. So what do we want to do for our replacement behavior? We're saying it's time to get ready for bed, or it's time to come inside, and they don't want to. They're having tantrums. Okay, somebody said man for more time. I love that one because that's a great self-advocacy skill. Yep, functional communication. Okay, that's great. So we're gonna come over here. I'm gonna search for transitions, and I'm gonna look for, I should be able to search for functional communication. Let's see. Yep, here it is right here. Functional communication, teaching better behaviors. So now I'm gonna edit the text to make it specific for this learner. In order to teach the replacement skill of, we said requesting more time. Okay, how do we want to teach this? We're saying, I want them to learn to request for more time. Mom says, it's time to get ready for bed, and I want my learner to say, oh, can I have 5 more minutes, or can I finish this game? How are we going to teach that? We can't just say teach that, we need to describe how. And while you're typing, here's some suggestions for this. Could be things like visuals, modeling, role play. You could, if there's a sibling or peer model to use, you can use different like visuals in the different situations to have them out as reminders. Okay, somebody's saying a verbal prompt, errorless teaching. How can we proactively teach before the situation happens? Remember, we're teaching when our learners are happy, relaxed, and engaged. So how can we teach when it's a neutral moment? They're not playing their video games. Somebody said priming. I'm going to remember that one for a preventative strategy. That would be a preventative strategy, priming. I love that one for this strategy. So here we're thinking of how to teach them to ask for more time. So this could be something like, maybe we're going to role play this situation. Maybe I say, we'll role play asking for more time, at least 1 time per day. Maybe this is a model in role play where I'm going to first demonstrate it, and then we're going to role play it together. That would be called BST. So here we can do, I'm explaining when I want the team to proactively teach this skill. So I put the team will model and role play asking for more time at least once per day. Okay, so we have our teaching, we have our replacement skill. I'm already going to jump down to prevent, and I saw somebody put priming. So I'm going to drop that one in. Oh, look, this illustration is actually perfect for this scenario. I'm going to open it up, and you can see I have the full step-by-step strategy. These are all the step-by-step strategies from our books. So you can see here, we have the upcoming event, we have the prime 5 minutes, then go to bed 1 minute, and it shows exactly how to do that. And when you email the BIP to the team, to the parent, to the teacher, to your behavior staff, they get this as well. So they can click on it to get the full reminder right there. Okay, so prior to, and now again, I can start to individualize this for my specific learner. So prior to, we're going to do transitions to bedtime routine, transitions to come inside, transitions to homework. I remember I saw somebody say that before. We're going to give them a reminder. And I saw you guys were putting in the chat, how are we going to do this? By giving a verbal reminder. A verbal 5-minute and 1-minute reminder. We could do here It doesn't have to be a verbal reminder. It could be something like using a timer or having the learner set their own timer on their phone to be even more independent. Okay, I'm seeing question, would you suggest using this for families too? Yes, this BIP Visualize is created for the person who's creating the behavior plans to get in here and build it, and then they can share it with the entire team. So when you click on share, you can email it out to the families, you can email it to the schools, you can email it to the babysitter, anyone that you have that agreement that you can send these files to. This is a HIPAA compliant software sharing as well. And so that way everyone has the plan and can access it anytime. All right, and then I just look back to see any questions. Oh, I love, somebody said have a 5-minute visual card. Yep, love that you were thinking of something besides a verbal reminder. Love that. All right, so now we're gonna keep going. Or a tangible item that means 5 more seconds or 1 more minute. I love that idea. Like you're giving them, putting an item next to them as like a symbol that you have 5 minutes. I love that. That's a really interesting way to do priming. Yeah, this is for people who don't know how to count. That's a great idea because sometimes 5 minutes is a very obscure topic. And so, or it's hard to visualize, it's hard to comprehend. And so having something that's a visual can be very helpful. I love that idea. Any other preventative strategies that we want to include before moving on? And I have one in mind. I don't know if you guys know it. It's not as commonly used. Do you have any other ideas for preventative strategies? I'm going to type again in here, transitions, and I'm going to search. So we have, I'm looking here for things that have the prevent tag here at the top. Let me get it more. So we have altering the environment, break tickets. Maybe that one doesn't really apply since we're thinking mostly at home for this client. Building rapport, that's always a good one to add in. I'm going to add that one in. Classroom setup, that's also like altering the environment. Easy, easy, hard. We could definitely think about adding in that one. Easy, easy, hard. And first then. Power card, that's the one I was thinking of as well. A power card could be really helpful. I'm going to show you this strategy in case it's new to you. When there's an upcoming event, you can create this, proactively you create this custom card for the learner to tell them what the expectations are for that event, and then you present the card just prior to the event. And it's based on something that's their preference, so that could be a good one. Or I did like the idea of easy, easy, hard. The behavior momentum strategy. I'm going to add that one in. Okay, but that's too many. Let's just do 3 here. So I have these different strategies. I'm seeing here, I'm just reading in the chat, reminder that they can play the game again tomorrow or later. Love that. Environmental manipulation. Yes, you could definitely put that in as well. Okay, let's think about what are we going to do? We're looking here for the reinforcement. What do we want to do if it works? We've been practicing and practicing them asking for more time when they're in a neutral stance. And then now it's time to give the transition in real life. We've already been building rapport. We use behavior momentum and we give that 5-minute reminder and it works. They transition right away. How do we want to recognize and reward them? I'm going to go ahead and pull it over while you guys get it. I'm sure a lot of you will know it in the chat. What is that reinforcement called? When we are reinforcing communication. Let's see. Praise and access to more time, honoring their request. Yes, you guys got it. So honoring their request is DRA. So I'm reading your comments real quick. Yep, somebody said make sure you're doing a preference assessment to make sure that we know that the reinforcement is appropriate. Yes, for here, we don't have to give an additional reinforcer. We don't need to give stickers or anything like that because the reward is we're honoring their request. So immediately following every occurrence of requesting more time, Team will recognize and reward by allowing a 5-minute delay in starting the transition. So now hopefully you can see how it's helpful that these arrows, everything is related. This is a step-by-step plan. So when I interviewed a lot of parents, some of the feedback that I was getting from why behavior plans are confusing is that it's a list of bullet point strategies. And it was very confusing for them to know when are they supposed to do what. And now here you can clearly see when you do priming and it works, we want to reward them. Every time that they ask for more time, we give them a 5-minute break, a 5-minute delay in starting that task. Okay, I saw somebody put in the chat DRO. Just as a reminder, DRA is where we are basically acknowledging and rewarding what they're asking for. They've done better behavior. DRO would be that he didn't engage in tantrums for a specific amount of time, where I say every hour that you don't have a tantrum, I'm going to give you a reward. So that would be a DRO. That's a different strategy. We can do that one another time for sure, because I think that one's a little bit confusing. Okay, everyone's saying giving extra time. Love it. You guys got this. You got all that down. So I'm going to throw in another one for you because I think it would be really good here. Range of rewards. I can't remember if we did this one last week. Share in the chat if you know what the name of this strategy is as I'm describing it, the official name. So for range of rewards, I'm going to say for every time that I have to give a reminder to ask for more time, I'm only going to do a 2-minute delay. Provide a 2-minute delay for times they requested more time with a reminder. So I saw they were starting to get frustrated and I came over and said, oh, remember you can ask for more time, or I hold up that visual or I model their communication, and then they ask for 2 more minutes, but they needed a little bit of help. But if they did it by themselves, offer a 5-minute delay for independent communication. They requested independently, I'm going to give a 5-minute delay. So I want to have, I'll give you a hint, a difference. That's a hint to what this is called. A difference in my rewards. I want to make the independent one bigger. Does anyone know what the technical name of this strategy is? Little pop quiz for some of you. You can see here that I don't have the technical names listed on these strategies. If you want to make your BIP really technical, you can change the name here. Yes, you got it. Differential reinforcement. So if you want your BIP to have all the technical words, you definitely can. You can change the titles to whatever you want. I like to keep them very approachable because the people doing your plan are probably not as familiar with ABA terminology as you are, and we know that jargon is a huge barrier. So you can keep the name as differential reinforcement. I'm gonna keep it range of rewards. I made that up, just a cute name. And again, you can click on this strategy to see it in action. Here, this girl is getting, let me get it over. She's getting 1 token for participating. She's getting 2 tokens when she's working independently, and she got 5 tokens when she pressed pause on her iPad. So that's a different example of differential reinforcement. Shows the same concept. All right, we're on the last step already. We're almost finished with an entire behavior plan. So next we're thinking of the behavior management. So how do we want to respond when that tantrum occurs? We tried to teach those proactive skills of requesting more time. We've been practicing. I did the priming. I have really good rapport. But unfortunately, that tantrum still happened, and the learner is throwing their video games, the video game controller around the room. They're crying. How can I respond in this moment? All right, someone's saying redirection to functional communication. I actually just did a post on this today. If you haven't seen it, you can check it out because there's a free downloadable that comes with it. Yes, redirection would be great here. I'm going to call that pause redirect reward. So that's the redirection. I'm going to show you this strategy. So first we're going to pause. We're going to remain calm, address any immediate safety concerns. So maybe I'm going to start clearing things away that the learner can't throw anymore. Validate their emotions, saying something like, I know you were having a lot of fun on your video game, and this is hard. You don't like going to bedtime routine, but that's okay. Let's do it together, or let's take a moment to do a self-regulation skill. Or, like you were saying, redirect. We can redirect. Oh, remember, you can ask for more time if you need it. And then if they do, that would be the reward, that 2-minute reward. Because now we've had to give them that little reminder, but we still want to reward if they are receptive of that feedback. Okay, I'm seeing in the chat, get on the child's level, use a calm voice, redirect, show a visual. I love that. It's a very calm response. Yeah, so this is the pause, redirect, reward strategy. And I agree, we could redirect, give that reminder of saying, remember, you can ask for more time. And then if they do, we can go ahead and give them that 2 minutes because they were able to try again. All right, so I didn't individualize that text on that last piece, but you guys saw that, how to do that. And now we have our entire visual BIP for tantrums for transitions. So here you can see that we have one behavior, we have one situation. If this learner also, let's say, had aggression when asked to share items, and maybe this is something that's only happening at school, then I would make another BIP. So you can go to home, and maybe I have another one with the same client name, but then it would say aggression. Or maybe this one would say transitions and the other one would say sharing. So the idea is that this is one plan for one situation, which makes it a lot easier for your team to know what to do and when. And then now that it's finished, I can present my plan to the team. I can hover over to go over the different pathways as I'm teaching. I can open the strategies. And I can also, like I said, I can email it out to the whole team and download and print it out. And that is our visual BIP of this week. So I hope you enjoyed. We will be doing these every week, so feel free to continue joining in. Oh, I love seeing in the chat you guys are loving it. Each week's going to be completely different, and it's up to you. This is interactive, so make sure you're joining in to share your ideas. And if you want to get in and already start making your own visual BIPs, you can get started for free at bipvisualize.com. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.